All right, I'm gonna go over my hunting pack. This is just for like whitetail when I'm hunting for a day. Now, this has been, it was in my truck, came out of my truck after the season, so I'm gonna talk about what's in it and probably what should or should not be in it. And this is old, I know, before you know, I really wanted to get into having a pack with me and in the tree all the time. It used to have a quiver system attached to it, so I bought it because it originally had a Rancho Safari quiver that was attached to the outside of it. I don't like it because of how collapsible it is, but sometimes that's a good thing. But so anyways, this is a Rancho Safari Cat Day, and it used to have some straps on the top. I cut them off. It's still got the straps on the bottom, and if I have on like a lot of clothes and I'm walking and get hot, I'll put clothes in there. But it's got 2 pockets on the outside of it. I'll just start with this side. So, flashlight, I can tell you this is going to be embarrassing because I've heard it all before from people I hunt with. Another flashlight, black diamond headlamp, another headlamp, and a compass. That's all it's in there. Other side, I keep, this is my Essie Azula. It says stainless on mine. I don't know what I hope it's S35VN, but I don't know. It just says stainless. The new ones say S35VN when you order them, but they say stainless on them, so this is my Essie. Skin and knife. And when my pack is hanging on a tree, this is the pocket that's closest to me, so that's why it has some of this other stuff. Wind checker. This one's about empty, and then this one is full. So this is, I guess, I don't know why I have 2 of them. This is probably the replacement for this one. And this is a Night Eyes. It's just a rubber coated wire. And then on the front pouch, paracord, I don't know why that's in there. A extra release. This is a Scott, I don't remember which one's called. This thing is ancient, old. And then another, a tab for if I forget my glove for some reason. Glow tacks, glow strips on a little carabiner. These come in handy if you're blood trailing or last blood. This is some sort of clip. I don't know what that is. Oh, there's 2 of them. I don't know what those are. So some sort of clip of some sort. Used up roll of electrical tape. And then these are hooks. They got wine corks on the end of them so they don't puncture my bag. These are just hooks that you screw them in a tree and you can hang your bow or whatever. I have 3 of those. I don't know why. Probably because it came in the 3-pack. I don't use those. Another reason I don't understand why they're in here. Because I'll show you what I use. So we have a Ziploc bag with some toilet paper or some paper towel. This is just what's in here. This isn't what's gonna be in here opening day of the season. I'm gonna show you probably what should be in here. This is just me being honest about, after hunting all last fall, what ended up in my day pack. Literally, this is just a dump because I've got to start getting this stuff. There's an arm guard. If I have a bunch of clothes, I'll put an arm guard on. I normally don't have an arm guard. Really thin cotton gloves that are camo. Okay, face mask, and then a cold weather beanie type of deal. my saw. This is my new saw, a Fiskars. Probably a 10-inch blade, I guess. And a grunt tube on a long piece of cord. So the reason I have it set up like this, it came with some little flimsy piece of cord. I put it on this long piece of cord, and then I put a one of these deals on it. So if I'm hanging it on something, I'll run this thing down to where it's on a real short hook, so I can just grab it real quick. If I'm wearing it, I'll wear it around my neck. I'll either leave it really long and I'll tuck it into something, or I'll shorten it up where it's close and I can just grab it. But I usually don't like stuff around my neck or anything like that when I'm shooting a bow, drawing a bow. But so that's why it has that slide on it. And this is a True Talker OG original grunter. It's flexible, it's bigger around, and it's just got a really good deep sound. My other grunt tube, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, I would use it and I would have always 10 minutes after I used it, like hogs would show up. I was hunting the area with a lot of pigs, but it to me, and I had another hunter tell me that it sounded like hogs grunting. So it got in my mind, and I had to switch it up. And I went on a search for something that sounded more vocally like a buck. So that's my grunt tube. And you can squeeze on this, it's flexible. So you can sound like two different deer. But anyways, that's my grunt tube. And I don't know. I don't remember what my old one, I think my old one was a wooden hardwood grunter or something by Primos maybe. But after I was told that it sounded like a pig, I started, making a video of it, and it did sound like a pig. So that's my grunt tube, and why I switched it up. But I've used it now for a few years, and they've been making this thing forever. So more paracord. I actually think this is not just random. This was for pulling my bow up in a tree. I'll put that with the other. I don't know why the orange one's in there. I know why the camo one's in there. This is what I rattle with. This is a pack rack, and it's the big one. And I don't do all the whole thing. I don't get all into rattling. The extent of my rattling is just like, I'm not trying to sound like a knockdown drag out, because where I hunt at in most parts of East Texas, rattling doesn't work very well. We don't have a really good buck to doe ratio. There's not a lot of fighting that goes on like there is in South Texas and Midwest and stuff like that. So if I'm rattling at all, I'm doing it just to sound like light sparring, and I really don't rattle that much. So that's what I rattle with if I do rattle. And it's in there from the year round. It never leaves my pack. It's not like having rattling horn or something like that. It's always in there. Another Ziploc with more Kleenexes. This Ziploc, I know what this is. So this is basically like a kill kit. This Ziploc doesn't really change a whole lot except for when I clean the knives in it. So it's got folding knife in it. It's got this knife I use more than any other knife. This is a Bear Cub. It's made by Knives of Alaska. I know it's little, but I've cleaned the biggest hog I've ever shot. I cleaned with this little bitty thing. So, and I've never cut myself with it. I cut myself pretty bad when I used to use a bigger knife. I haven't cut myself, knock on wood, with a small knife yet. So, and I mean, of all the knives I have, maybe one day I'll do a video of the knives I have. I have a ton of knives, and I still use this one the most. I don't know why. It just works. And it stays sharp. D2 tool steel, I think, is just and I don't know what they harden these to, but I've heard of people chipping these and breaking them. I haven't chipped one, and I don't go digging into bone, but D2 will break. If you try to pry with this, it'd probably snap. It's a brittle, but it keeps you from having to sharpen it as much. And then these are gloves. And then this is a diamond stick. And then this is a diamond stick that's flat on one part and then round on the other. And I use this to sharpen broadheads too, not just I usually don't sharpen my knives if I'm cleaning an animal. This is probably in here to sharpen broadheads, if I had to guess. But I usually don't sharpen broadheads out there either, so maybe it is in there to touch up knives. I've never sharpened a knife in the field except for when I killed my elk. But on a whitetail and a pig, I've never had to re-sharpen one. They go out pretty sharp with me. I've never had to re-sharpen one. This is a belt. This is like a tactical, really heavy webbing, like 2,500 pound webbing belt, 2,000 pound or 2,500 pound buckle, repelling eye. This belt is like a SWAT team repelling belt. And then this is 1,500 pound or 2,000 pound nylon. So I use this as a safety belt. If I get out there and I don't have my safety harness, so I'm not hunting out of a saddle, this is a safety belt. My tether is in here for some reason with no carabiner. I don't know. Probably the last hunt I went on last year, I hunted out of my saddle. So this is my tether for my saddle setup. And then here, okay, this is what I wanted to show. This is what I use instead of those hooks. Public land in a lot of places, they don't allow you to screw stuff into the tree. So I put this around the tree. It came with a bunch more hooks and I took them off because I really just used two. I situate them at 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock on the tree. My pack hangs on one side, my bow hangs on the other. And this is what I do it's the first thing I put on the tree and the last thing I take off the tree. And then these are scent wicks. I don't have any scents in here. I don't know if I took them out, but there's no scent. I usually have some Evercalm scents with me, but that's everything. That's what's in my pack. And then I'll go over my other one. So if I'm going on a longer, I'll use this. This is a Badlands Super Day. There's nothing in it, it's empty. But that's the other pack that I'll use instead of this one. It's got it's more rigid and has some more structure to it. And so this is my Bino harness. So I don't always have binoculars. And I can tell right now I'm missing some stuff. I'll show you what should be in it after this. So this is my Bino harness. And what I have attached to it is like a little light pack. So this is just a lens cloth on one side, wind smoke on the other. I'm telling you, I have wind smoke everywhere. And I constantly use it, constantly checking the wind. And then, so flashlight in there, my binoculars, of course. These are Leopold 10x42. These are the second pair. The first pair, one of the eye cups messed up after they were like 10 years old. I sent them back to Leopold and they sent me a brand new pair because I guess the other pair was discontinued. They didn't make them anymore. And the pair they sent me was dollar for dollar, the same value as my other ones. And then some ammo, 308. This is probably what I had with me at the end of the season. It is what I had whenever I shot my buck with my 308. That's why that's in there. And then I didn't have to get into here because I shot him and we just drove the truck to and it was a rifle hunt deal. But this is kind of set up for walking. I did some hunting at the National Forest last year, and this is what I used to hunt the National Forest. So paracord with I know what this is. This is my canoe. So when I'm using my canoe, I use this as a bank line to tie my canoe up so it doesn't float away. Bradford neck knife in Elmax steel. This knife, I haven't had to sharpen it yet. Elmax is good stuff, and it's pretty stainless. Another saw. This is the OG. This was my first saw. This is a Gerber, and you can tell by the camo they put it in. This thing was like, I don't know. I got this in high school, and it's still sharp. I don't know what kind of steel it's made out of. You can, and it's got a real sharp spine. You can strike a fire steel with it. But it's a lockback Gerber. It says made in the USA on the blade even. So I don't know. If Gerber were to put something like this out now, they would have it made from China. Paper towels. There's my scent. So this is probably normally in there. Evercalm in a stick form. And then the top of this little thing is my Havalon. This is a replaceable blade knife. And I also use a Weeby. Weeby's like a same thing, but it's like what people that do trappers use it. It just has a replaceable blade. This is a, I think it's called Piranha, Havalon Piranha, something like that. Knife sharpener, but this is really what this is, a broadhead sharpener. That's all I've ever used it for, is sharpening my broadheads. And then some extra straps and a used up bent roll of electrical tape. So I always have electrical tape, and I use it for all kinds of crap. I'm gonna put this back together because I'm gonna take a second, and then I'm gonna get the stuff that should be in here, and I'll be right back. All right, so looking over it, thinking about what should be in there and it's not in there. The first thing is my Allen wrenches. So I have two of these. These are the sizes. This one I like because it goes from the biggest size, which I could do take my rest on and off, to the smallest size, which I could work on anything on the. But this one is the one this is the original. This is what I carried before. This is made by Vista, and I found this in an archery shop. This is what I carried forever and ever. This is Eklund Tool Company, Chicago, Illinois. So this is the original one, and these are all about rounded off. This one needs to go in the trash. But this is common sizes for your sights, your rest, stuff like that. This is what I used to carry, and it got replaced by this one. This is what I carry now. The reason it wasn't in there is probably because I fished it out to work on my bow. As a matter of fact, I know I fished it out to work on the video I made about putting my rest on. I tried to do it all with this thing, and saw how that went. And my rangefinder, I know why this is not in there. My rangefinder is not in there because I moved my targets from the side of my house to back there. I wanted to know the exact ranges, so this is something that would be in there, and I don't know where the case is at. And the rubber, this is a Nikon Pro Staff. It's sticky. The rubber is melting off of this. I don't know what to do about that, but it still works and it's still accurate, so I'm gonna keep using it. I just hate that it got all, it's sticky now. And this is something new this year. I think I'm gonna try Gorilla Tape. This is gonna stay with me instead of, I might get rid of the electrical tape. The bad thing about electrical tape, it doesn't stick to itself that good. If it gets hot, it comes undone. So probably this year, I'm gonna replace electrical tape in all of my hunting packs with this this little strip of, it's basically duct tape. It's made by Gorilla. So that'll probably be a new deal. And if I was going somewhere where I couldn't get back to my truck, or I was gonna be away from my truck, I would normally have batteries. These batteries, I probably took them out for weight, but batteries are usually in there. A cigarette lighter is usually almost always in there. And then if I'm hunting all day, I take a solar, this is a battery bank. This is normally in there. All this stuff is probably out of there for weight or because I've been using it. I think I was using this on a fishing trip. And so then that brings me to stuff that I would have in there if I was going if I was in the mountains, if I was not flat land, if I was somewhere that I didn't know where I was at and didn't have cell phone signal, or I was afraid of getting lost. Anytime I would be afraid of getting lost or afraid of not knowing, I would take this little pack right here. And so this little pack is basically like an emergency kit. I feel like I could survive with this, and the reason it's not in everything, it's really heavy. So this is in like elk hunting pack, western hunting pack, mule deer hunting, something like that. Might get lost hunting. That's what I would consider this. This is a might get lost pack. And it's just another flashlight. My Leatherman, this thing, this is when they used to include a leather sheath with it. This is called a Leatherman Blast. I don't know. I'm in the market. I think I'm gonna get a new Leatherman this year. I've been watching some videos on people doing that. A lighter in here, bright colored, a whistle, a ferro rod, and a striker. It's a carbide striker, so you could actually sharpen your knife with that too if you need to. That's a ferro rod. That's like a 6-inch, 7-inch ferro rod, 1/2-inch diameter. Paracord, flagging tape, a whole bunch of glow sticks, different colors. This one probably turns blue, and these turn green. 2 blue and 2 green. No, 3 green. And then, of course, electrical tape. I'm keeping electrical tape in business. But this is like a might get lost, and I don't want to get it mixed up with anything else. This stays, and it's in a really thick plastic bag that you could collect water in. This could double as like a water bag to catch water in. So this is the might get lost bag. This goes in and out if I feel like I'm going to be too far from my truck to get back. Or I'm paddling a canoe, or I might flip my canoe and have to make a fire or something like that. That's what this, but like I said, normally I would have a cigarette lighter in my pack. And then some sort of first aid. This is super light, but it's too big to go in if I'm short on space. So I would condense this down to maybe just something to stop the bleeding, something for burns, and some sort of band-aids. But I can tell you, I cut my finger really bad, and you can make a pretty good band-aid with paper towels and electrical tape, like pretty good. So I bandaged myself up. I cut myself really bad skinning a deer on my left finger right here, and I was trying to keep from puncturing the guts, and so I was pulling up on the skin with my fingers and trying to cut, and it was a bad move. And I would probably take a bigger knife. This is my Ferrell S35 VN skinning knife. This thing is bomb proof. It's full tang, and you can skin an elephant with this thing. So it's very, very, very sharp. So that would be the different. I would have that in there instead of some of these other knives. This knife is a good knife. This Essie is really, really good. But yeah, so those are some things that would be in there that are not in there. But I'll get this cleaned up, and I swear I normally don't have 4 flashlights. It came out looking bad. I normally don't have 2 wind checkers. I normally don't have 100 feet of paracord. I normally don't have some of this crap in here, but this is pretty much what I go with into the woods. And depending on if I get drawn for mule deer, or if I decide to do a backpack hunt, I might make another video on what that would look like if there were food involved. But this is all I use. This backpack right here, this stuff goes in here and doesn't even fill up half of this. So I could take a lot of food in this, and if I was gonna have to pack something, quarter it, the difference would be game bags in here, and it would be the game bags would go into this kit right here. So anyways, I think that's everything. There's variations, whether I'm sitting in a saddle, whether I'm sitting in a climbing stand, but that's pretty much it. That's what stays in this thing, and nothing too embarrassing. I thought I would come across some stuff that was overly redundant, but I don't think so. So if I'm going to carry batteries, I can just, this is my argument when I'm getting made fun of about flashlights by people that I hunt with. I say, look, I can carry extra batteries in a brick, or I can carry extra batteries in a flashlight that doesn't hardly weigh anything else. So I always say, like people are like, man, why do you have 5 flashlights? It's because I say, well, they're just holding batteries. So that's what I'll put fresh batteries in all my flashlights. And they're usually all AAA. Like this has a little stack of AAAs. These are AAAs. My headlamps are AAAs. So I'll buy a whole bunch of AAA batteries and replace all of my flashlight batteries at the beginning of the season. And then I think what happens is I just keep throwing flashlights in. Every time I leave my truck, I throw one in there. And by the end of the season, I've accumulated every flashlight I own, it seems like. And anyways, that's all. That's it. Thanks for watching.